I've been married to my husband, Sam, 34, for 7 years now. We met at a mutual friend's wedding back in 2016. I was a bridesmaid and Sam was a groomsman. We were paired to walk down the aisle together, and there was an immediate spark between us. After the ceremony, we spent the entire reception talking, and my sister-in-law attacked me at my baby shower, lost her baby months later, and now wants to get back together and meet my daughter. After a year of dating, Sam proposed during a sunset hike at our favorite trail, and 6 months later, we had a gorgeous fall wedding surrounded by our closest loved ones. We had laughed by the end of the night, exchanged numbers, and planned our first date. Soon after, we realized we had a lot in common, including a love of hiking, a shared interest in true crime podcasts, and the desire to start a family someday. Initially, it was exciting as we joked about which of our characteristics the baby would inherit, my curly hair or Sam's dimples. But as the months went by without a positive pregnancy test, that excitement gradually turned to worry. We tried everything to increase our chances, and I began tracking my ovulation. Friends and family knew we wanted children from the beginning, so we started trying for a baby right after our honeymoon, fervently, and we both changed our lifestyles. Sam stopped smoking, a habit he had had since college, and I gave up my favorite morning coffee. We joined a gym together, determined to get in the best shape of our lives. But after 2 years of unsuccessful attempts, we decided to see a fertility specialist. Dr. Anderson performed several tests on us both, and the weeks we spent waiting for the results were among the most trying. It was during this time that Sam's younger sister Rachel, 29, married her college sweetheart Jack, 31. The wedding was a lavish affair, and I recall feeling a pang of jealousy when the results of our lives were finally inconclusive. There was no obvious reason why we couldn't conceive, so Dr. Anderson encouraged us to keep trying. Rachel threw her bouquet while laughing about how she and Jack would be the next to have a child. Little did I know how important that moment would become in our lives. As our infertility struggle progressed, we began to feel alone because it seemed like everyone else was having babies with ease. Our social media feeds were flooded with pictures of babies and pregnancy announcements, and every one of them felt like a punch. After 5 long years of trying, it finally happened. I was a week late, but I was too scared to take a test, so I wouldn't have to deal with another disappointment. Sam finally bought a pregnancy test and encouraged me to take it, and when those 2 pink lines appeared, we both started crying with happiness. We also started turning down invitations to baby showers and first birthday parties because we felt they were too painful to attend. Given our history, those weeks of keeping our secret were both exciting and terrifying. Every nausea attack or twinge sent me into a panic, fearing something might go wrong. However, at our 12-week scan, we saw our little bean bouncing around on the screen, and we knew it was time to share our joy. We must have taken 5 more tests just to be sure. Amid all the excitement and congratulations, I couldn't help but notice Rachel's reaction when we broke the news of our pregnancy at a family dinner. Sam's parents were having their annual summer barbecue, so it seemed like the ideal occasion. Sam's mom broke down in tears. His dad gave him a bear hug, and my parents couldn't stop smiling. As my pregnancy progressed, we began preparing for the arrival of our baby. We turned our home office into a nursery and painted the walls a soft mint green. While everyone else was celebrating, she stayed seated, her face unreadable, and when she finally came over to congratulate us, her hug felt stiff and her smile didn't reach her eyes. I dismissed it at the time, assuming she was simply surprised by the news. During this time, Rachel's behavior remained strange. She rarely inquired about the pregnancy, and when she did, her remarks were frequently critical. At one point, when I was showcasing a gorgeous hand-knitted baby outfit, Sam's dad helped us assemble the crib, making it a full-day event complete with pizza and non-alcoholic beer for me. Of course, my mom and I spent weekends searching thrift stores for unusual vintage-inspired baby clothes. We tried to include Rachel in the pregnancy journey by inviting her and Jack to our gender reveal party, where we learned we were expecting a girl. Rachel arrived late, hardly spoke to anyone, and left early, claiming she had a headache as my due date drew near. Rachel said it was a shame to put so much work into something that would probably just get spit up on. When our mother offered to throw us a baby shower, we were moved and gladly accepted. On the day of the shower, friends and family gathered at our house to celebrate our soon-to-be baby girl, Rachel, who arrived an hour late and appeared visibly irritated, thrust a gift into my hands without saying anything, and went straight to the food table. Throughout the celebration, she made crude remarks about the games and decorations. When it came time to open gifts, Rachel's face darkened as I unwrapped each one and thanked the giver. When I opened her gift, a plain white onesie, she abruptly stood up and yelled, "This is so unfair!" The room fell silent as Rachel finished her tirade. I even overheard her telling Jack that the entire thing was tacky and unnecessarily extravagant. Amid the chaos, someone called the police. Rachel was arrested for attempted assault, and everyone was shocked when she grabbed the cake knife from the table and lunged toward me. Fortunately, Sam's quick reflexes saved the day. Rachel had been trying to get pregnant for years. She deserved to be a mother more than I did, and life was so unfair. When the baby shower came to an abrupt end, I was completely shocked to learn that my sister-in-law had attempted to harm me and that my unborn child might not be able to understand it. Sam was devastated, torn between anger at his sister's behavior and worry for me. In the wake of the incident, Jack pleaded with us not to file charges, revealing that Rachel had been dealing with depression and infertility, and that she wasn't in her right mind, but Sam and I couldn't let this go, so we decided to press charges, because we felt that Rachel needed to be held accountable for her actions. Now that she's in jail awaiting trial, our family is divided. Some members believe that we're being too harsh and that the charges should be dropped for the sake of family unity, while others agree with our decision, stating that Rachel's actions were unacceptable. Regardless of her mental health, I can't help but feel bad about pushing Rachel too far by celebrating my pregnancy when I knew she was having difficulties. Should I have been more considerate of her feelings? She put not only me but also my unborn child in danger, so I feel justified in our decision to have my sister-in-law arrested at my baby shower. Update 1. A month has passed since the incident, and a lot has happened. Rachel's trial date was scheduled for next month, but there have been some unexpected developments. About 2 weeks ago, Jack reached out to Sam and asked if we could meet to discuss the situation. After some hesitation, we decided to meet at a neutral location. First of all, I want to thank everyone for their support and advice. It's been a difficult time for our family, and your words have been a source of comfort. When we arrived, we discovered not only Jack, but also Rachel's parents. Rachel's mother, Linda, 58 Fahrenheit, immediately began begging us to drop the charges, stating that Rachel had been diagnosed with severe depression and anxiety, and that she was currently receiving therapy and medication. Linda contended that jail wasn't the right place for Rachel, and as Linda talked, I couldn't help but think of the beginning of Sam and Rachel's relationship. When Sam first introduced me to his family, Rachel was friendly and outgoing, and we even developed a sort of friendship. We frequently went shopping together or had girls' nights out with wine and romantic comedies. It was difficult to accept that Rachel was the one who had attacked me with a knife. Jack revealed that Rachel was pregnant. It turns out that they had been using IVF, and their most recent attempt had been successful. Jack claimed that Rachel had learned of her pregnancy just days before our baby shower, but she had been too upset to handle the information. He suggested that her hormones and mental health problems had caused her to lose her temper. I was shocked, and I felt sorry for Rachel because I knew how stressful those Sam and I excused ourselves to discuss the matter privately. We walked to a nearby park, the same one where we used to go on picnic dates in our early dating days, and sat on a bench with the weight of the decision before us. Emotions must have been running high, but another part of me couldn't forget the fear I felt when she came at me with that knife. I remembered the cold look in her eyes, so different from the Rachel I thought I knew, felt overwhelming. On the one hand, we recognized that Rachel was going through a tough moment and that she needed support. We reflected on our years of friendship, the holidays we had spent together, and the inside jokes we had shared. On the other hand, we felt that Rachel needed to be held accountable for her actions because they had put our unborn child and me in danger. After much deliberation, we decided to speak with. When we returned to the coffee shop and discussed our options with our lawyer, Jack and Rachel's parents were relieved and thanked us profusely for being willing to consider a plea deal instead of jail time. We didn't want to completely drop the charges, but we were open to an arrangement that would guarantee Rachel received the help she needed, while also facing some consequences for her actions. As we left the coffee shop, I felt a range of emotions. I was still upset about what had happened, but I also had hope that perhaps our family could move past this. Sam squeezed my hand as we made our way to our car, and I knew that no matter what happened, we would face it together. The following day, we met with our lawyer to talk about our options. She suggested that a plea agreement might be a good way to go, possibly leading to Rachel's mandatory community service, counseling, and probation rather than jail time. We chose to proceed with this strategy, but things took an unexpected turn when we got a call from Jack later that week informing us that Rachel had been hospitalized because of pregnancy-related issues. Jack sounded worn out and terrified over the phone when he informed us that Rachel had begun bleeding and was in danger of losing the baby. Despite everything that had transpired, I couldn't wish the experience of losing a pregnancy on anyone, especially considering how long Rachel had been trying to conceive. Her physical health had suffered due to her impending trial and her mental health issues. It's a delicate balance between justice, compassion, and family loyalty, and I'm not sure we're striking it right. Sam and I have been talking a lot about our own upcoming parenthood in light of all this. The trial has been postponed because of Rachel's condition, and we're left wondering if we're doing the right thing or if we're being too harsh. Began taking parenting classes, And every lesson serves as a reminder of the immense responsibility we are about to assume. This has strengthened our resolve to provide a secure and stable environment for our daughter. I will continue to update you as events unfold, and I want to thank everyone for their support during this difficult time. 3 months have passed since my last update, and Rachel's situation has taken several unexpected turns. Despite the stress of the ongoing situation, with Rachel, the birth of our beautiful daughter Lily 6 weeks ago went smoothly, and both Lily and I are doing well. Sam has been an amazing father, and we are gradually adjusting to life with a newborn. I apologize for the delay in updating, but things have been hectic to say the least. The night Lily was born was a whirlwind of Sam was amazing during the entire process, holding my hand and supporting me at every turn. When we finally heard Lily's first cry, it was the most beautiful sound I'd ever heard. Holding her for the first time, I felt a love I never knew was possible. During those first few days in the hospital, we were in a bubble of new parent bliss. My labor began unexpectedly 2 weeks early, and everything happened so quickly. When I mentioned in my previous update that Rachel had been hospitalized due to pregnancy complications, reality quickly returned to us. Despite the best efforts of her medical team, Rachel lost the baby at 16 weeks, which was devastating for her and Jack and sent shockwaves through the entire family. I remember the moment Sam told me the news. We were in our hospital room. Despite everything that had transpired between us, I wouldn't wish that pain on anyone. In the wake of this tragedy, Rachel's mental health took a serious turn for the worse, and she was admitted to a psychiatric facility for intensive treatment. Lily was sleeping soundly in her bassinet when Sam's face turned pale as he told me the news he had just received from his parents. Our lawyer told us that Sam and I decided to drop the charges after much deliberation and introspection. It wasn't an easy choice, and I still feel conflicted about it. But seeing her in such a vulnerable state made us realize that what she needs right now is support and assistance rather than legal punishment. We also made it clear to Jack's and Rachel's parents that our intention was to help her. Sam's parents are relieved and thankful, hoping that this will be the first step toward mending our broken family. The decision came with conditions. Rachel must continue her therapy and treatment, and she cannot have any unsupervised contact with us or Lily until her therapist deems it appropriate. The family readily agreed to these terms. My parents, on the other hand, are concerned that we're being too forgiving and leaving ourselves open to future problems with Rachel. My dad was particularly upset because he reminded me of the anxiety and stress I'd gone through during my pregnancy because of Rachel's actions. It took a lengthy conversation to help him understand our decision. Linda's expression of gratitude when we told her our choice was one of tears streaming down her face as she hugged us both. Perspective. Sam and I were attempting to concentrate on our new life with Lily. We have installed cameras and a new alarm system at our house, which may seem paranoid, but we feel it's essential for our peace of mind in light of what happened. Jack has been keeping us informed about Rachel's progress. She's still in the mental hospital, but he said she's making slow but steady progress. Expressed sincere regret for her behavior at the baby shower, but we haven't spoken to her directly. I'm still processing everything that happened, and while I'm happy that we came to a decision that might help Rachel and mend our family, I can't get rid of the lingering anxiety and distress. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to forgive Rachel completely or feel at ease around her again. So for the time being, we're taking update 3. It's been 6 months since my last update, and I wanted to share some final thoughts on this situation. A lot has changed, and I feel like this might be my last post about this chapter of our story. We're taking things one day at a time, concentrating on Lily and our small family. The future of our relationship with Rachel is still uncertain, but we're hopeful that with time and continued therapy, some sort of reconciliation might be possible. Today, Sam and I are exhausted but happier than ever as we watch Sam and Lily, who is now 7 months old and the light of our lives. She is beginning to crawl and babble, and every day is a new adventure. Sam's patience and love for Lily remind me every day why I fell in love with him. He is always there to make her laugh with a silly face or to soothe her when she is fussy. As for Rachel, she was released from the about. A month after her release, Rachel contacted us through Jack to ask if she could meet Lily Sam. At first I was apprehensive, but after talking with our doctors, we agreed that she had made great strides in managing her depression, anxiety, and grief over her lost pregnancy. She is currently receiving therapy with outpatient care and is taking a stable medication regimen. Yes, we began seeing a therapist to help us process everything that had happened. We agreed to a brief supervised visit, which was awkward to say the least. It was held in our living room with Jack and Sam's parents present, and Rachel was visibly anxious and found it difficult to look us in the eye. She brought a handmade blanket as a gift for Lily, and sobbingly apologized for what she had done at the baby shower. As Rachel held Lily for the first time, I experienced a strange mix of emotions. On the one hand, it brought back memories of our close relationship, but on the other, I couldn't get rid of the image of her snatching a knife at me, and I found myself tensing up every time Rachel did that. She had been in a very dark place, mentally and emotionally, and she deeply regretted what she had done. Sam seemed more willing to move toward forgiveness, but I could tell he was still guarded. He kept a close eye on Rachel throughout the visit, never leaving the area where she sat with Lily, and even though I understood logically that she wouldn't hurt Lily, I still found it difficult to accept her apology. I think I'll never be able to forget the memory of her coming at me with a knife. We've established a monthly visitation schedule, usually at Sam's parents' house, which is neutral territory and makes everyone feel more at ease. Jack has been tremendously supportive throughout this entire process, and he's always present during the visits. A few more supervised visits, each one a little easier, but there's still a long way to go before I'll feel comfortable leaving Lily alone with Rachel. As for the rest of the family, things are gradually getting back to normal. Sam's parents are thrilled to have the family back together, but they respect our boundaries with Rachel, so I can see the relief in their relationship. He also has been going to therapy sessions with Rachel to work on their relationship and process their shared grief over their lost baby. Sam's dad has taken to playing peacekeeper, always prepared with a joke or a change of topic if tensions start to rise. My parents are still cautious, but they're trying for Lily's sake by joining us for some of the family get-togethers, though I can tell they're always on high alert around Rachel, especially when my mom watches. Linda's eyes whenever we all manage to be in the same room without incident. Looking back on everything that has happened, I have mixed feelings. While I'm glad Rachel is receiving the help she needs, I can't help but wonder how things might have been different if we had noticed her struggle earlier. Could all of this have been prevented if we had been more attentive? Rachel is like a hawk whenever she's near Lily. I appreciate their protectiveness even though it sometimes adds to the tension. In addition to learning a lot about setting boundaries and putting my family's safety and well-being first, I've also developed a deeper understanding of the complexities of mental health issues and how they can affect entire families. Lying awake and replaying every interaction we had in the months before the baby shower has made me more sympathetic, not only toward Rachel, but I'm not sure if our relationship with Rachel will ever be the same as it was before, but we're open to seeing where this new chapter takes us. Last week, we had a family dinner at Sam's parents' house. It wasn't perfect, but there were still moments when we were cautiously optimistic about the future and taking things slowly, with Rachel always keeping Lily's best interests at the forefront. I saw glimmers of the sister-in-law I used to know when Rachel helped Sam's mom in the kitchen or when she laughed at one of Jack's jokes, but it was the closest we've been to normalcy in over a year. It gives me hope that perhaps with time and sustained effort on both sides, we can create a new type of family dynamic. As for Sam and me, this entire experience has strengthened our bond. Every night as we put Lily to bed, I'm reminded of how fortunate we are and how much we should be thankful for you all, for following our story and for your support during this trying time. Your guidance and encouragement have been invaluable, and I hope I never have to post about such a trying situation again. We need to learn new ways to lean on each other and communicate more openly about our hopes and fears. If there's one thing I've learned from all of this for the community I discovered here, it's that healing can happen even in the most unlikely situations.